Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself feeling lost in a relationship, sacrificing your happiness just to keep the peace? Or maybe you've poured all your time and energy into someone else, only to feel drained and unappreciated? If you've ever felt stuck, unsure of how to maintain your sense of self while trying to make a relationship work, you're not alone. We all crave deep, meaningful connections, but sometimes we lose ourselves along the way. Maybe you've faced sleepless nights worrying about being alone, or you've been so focused on pleasing others that you've forgotten to celebrate your own achievements. Sound familiar? Well, what if I told you there's a way to build healthier, more balanced relationships without losing who you are? Today we're diving into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to uncover 10 powerful principles that can transform the way you approach love and connection. Whether you're struggling with setting boundaries, managing your time, or protecting your mental health, these Stoic lessons are here to help you reclaim your power, find inner peace, and build relationships that truly fulfill you. So if you're ready to stop settling, start thriving, and become the best version of yourself in your relationships, stick around. Let's get into it. 1. Guard your past. When we're getting to know someone, it's easy to feel the urge to share everything about ourselves, especially the difficult parts of our past. We think that being open and vulnerable will bring us closer, but sometimes it can have the opposite effect. Revealing too much too soon can make us feel exposed, and even worse, it can lead to judgment or misunderstanding. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This can apply to your past as well. Your personal history, especially the struggles and mistakes, is something valuable, but not something that needs to be shared with everyone right away. Guarding your past doesn't mean hiding who you are, it means protecting the parts of your story that are meant to be kept for yourself. When you share too much, too quickly, you risk giving away pieces of your identity that are meant to be protected. Instead of pouring all your memories and experiences into a new relationship, focus on building trust over time. Let your past shape who you are, but don't let it be something that others can judge or use against you. By keeping your past personal, you not only protect yourself but also create a healthier dynamic in your relationships. When the time is right and trust is built, you can share the deeper parts of your story, but until then, choose wisely what you reveal. 2. Face the fear of being alone. Many of us have an underlying fear of being alone. We might stay in relationships, not because they're the right fit, but because we're afraid of the emptiness we might feel without them. This fear can lead to unhealthy decisions, where we settle for relationships that don't truly align with who we are, just to avoid solitude. The Stoic philosopher Aristotle once said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." This is crucial because understanding who you are and being comfortable in your own company is the first step to building healthy, meaningful relationships. If you're constantly seeking someone else to fill a void, you'll never be truly fulfilled. The key is to face the fear of being alone and embrace it. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely or unworthy. It's an opportunity to get to know yourself better, to grow, and to focus on your own happiness. Once you've learned to enjoy your own company, you'll be in a much stronger position to form a relationship with someone who adds value to your life, rather than someone you simply can't bear to be without. By confronting the fear of being alone, you give yourself the freedom to choose relationships based on connection and compatibility, not out of a fear of solitude. When you're content with who you are, you'll attract relationships that complement your life, rather than trying to fill a gap. 3. Manage your time wisely. We've all been there, spending endless hours with someone, only to realize we've neglected other important areas of our lives. It's easy to get caught up in a relationship and lose track of how much time we're investing. We might give away our time to someone who doesn't value it as much as we do, or we might neglect our personal goals, passions, or friendships. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "It's not that life is short, but that we waste a lot of it when we don't manage our time properly. We can easily end up feeling drained, unfulfilled, and disconnected from our own lives." It's important to remember that your time is one of your most valuable resources. When you give too much of it away to a relationship that doesn't nurture or support you, you're left with nothing for yourself. The key is to find balance. Don't allow a relationship to consume all of your time and energy. Prioritize your own well-being, your growth, and your passions. Make sure to carve out time for yourself, whether it's for hobbies, work, or simply recharging. A healthy relationship should add to your life, not drain it. By managing your time wisely, you'll ensure that you don't lose sight of your own needs and goals while building a connection with someone else. When you respect your own time, others will too. And by focusing on your personal growth and happiness, you'll be able to show up as your best self in any relationship, rather than giving away your time and energy without feeling fulfilled. 4. Celebrate your achievements. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life and forget to pause and appreciate how far we've come. In relationships, we can become so focused on pleasing others or measuring our worth through their eyes that we forget to celebrate our own progress and successes. We may even downplay our accomplishments, thinking they're not as important as the goals we still need to achieve. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "Don't seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do." This is a reminder to acknowledge and appreciate where you are right now, even if you haven't reached all your goals yet. Every small victory, whether it's personal growth or overcoming a challenge, is worth celebrating. When we recognize our own achievements, we build self-confidence and remind ourselves of the value we bring to the table. Celebrating your achievements doesn't mean boasting or being arrogant. It's about honoring the effort you've put in and the progress you've made. This sense of self-appreciation will not only help you grow, but will also make you more attractive to others. A person who celebrates their own successes is someone who values themselves, which naturally attracts respect and admiration. By taking the time to recognize your accomplishments, you reinforce your sense of worth and build a positive foundation for both personal happiness and your relationships. Celebrate every milestone. No matter how small, it's all part of your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. 5. Safeguard your mental health. In the pursuit of love and connection, it's easy to neglect your own mental well-being. We might find ourselves compromising our happiness or peace of mind just to keep a relationship intact, but in doing so, we're often sacrificing the very thing that allows us to live a balanced and fulfilling life. When we ignore our mental health, we end up drained, anxious, or unhappy, and no relationship, no matter how good, is worth that cost. The Stoics understood the importance of inner peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reminds us that our happiness and mental health should never be compromised for someone else. You are in control of your mind, and protecting your mental well-being is your responsibility. If a relationship is affecting your peace, it's crucial to recognize that you need to prioritize your mental health. Set boundaries where necessary, communicate openly, and don't be afraid to step back if things become too overwhelming. Your happiness isn't something to be traded away for someone else's convenience or approval. Protect your mind like you would any other valuable asset, and don't let anyone, whether a partner or anyone else, take that from you. By safeguarding your mental health, you ensure that you can approach relationships from a place of strength, not desperation or fear. When you take care of yourself, you bring a healthier, happier version of yourself into any connection, which ultimately makes for stronger, more fulfilling relationships. 6. Be true to yourself. In the effort to make others happy or fit into a relationship, it's easy to lose sight of who we really are. We may find ourselves saying yes to things we don't want to do, agreeing with opinions we don't truly hold, or even changing parts of ourselves just to keep the peace or gain approval. But when we do this, we stop being authentic, and over time, that can lead to feelings of resentment and confusion about who we really are. The Stoic philosopher Albert Camus once said, "Don't wait for the last judgment, it takes place every day." This speaks to the idea that every day is an opportunity to live according to your true self, without compromising your values or desires. If you're constantly trying to please others, you end up playing a role that's not aligned with your true nature. It's like putting on a mask and pretending to be someone you're not. To be true to yourself, you must learn to say no when something doesn't feel right for you. Don't be afraid to assert your own boundaries, and don't feel obligated to conform to what others expect of you. Your happiness depends on living authentically and embracing your true identity. When you do this, you'll not only feel more at peace, but you'll attract relationships that respect you for who you truly are. Living authentically means being honest with yourself about what you want, need, and believe. It means embracing your individuality and not being afraid to stand firm in who you are. When you are true to yourself, you make room for relationships that honor and appreciate you for the real you, not a version of yourself that you've created to fit someone else's expectations. 7. Don't sacrifice your path for others. It's natural to want to make compromises in a relationship, but when you find yourself constantly altering your goals, values, or path in life to please someone else, it can lead to dissatisfaction and confusion. If you're not careful, you might wake up one day and realize that you've strayed too far from your own dreams, all for the sake of someone else's vision of your life. Seneca wisely said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In other words, if you don't have a clear sense of direction in your own life, you can easily be swayed by the opinions and expectations of others. When you lose sight of your own path, you not only jeopardize your own happiness, but you also risk becoming resentful or bitter because you've sacrificed too much of yourself. It's important to recognize that your life's journey is yours and yours alone. Relationships should enhance your path, not derail it. If you find yourself constantly changing to meet someone else's needs or desires, it's a sign to step back and reassess. Your authenticity, your goals, and your happiness must come first. Don't let anyone steer you off course just to make them happy. By staying true to your own path, you create a solid foundation for any relationship. The best connections are those where both people support and encourage each other's personal growth, not those where one person is forced to compromise everything for the other. So, while it's okay to make adjustments along the way, never lose sight of your own goals. Keep walking your path with purpose and confidence. 8. Prioritize relationships with friends and family. It's easy to get so caught up in a romantic relationship that we start to neglect the people who have always been there for us, our friends and family. We might spend all our time and energy focusing on our partner, pushing aside the people who support us unconditionally. But when we do this, we risk losing our support network, and without it, we may find ourselves isolated or dependent on a relationship that isn't as solid as we thought. Plato once compared people to the soil in which we grow. He said, "Your friends are the soil that either helps you grow or stunts your growth." The people closest to us, our friends and family, play a crucial role in our well-being. They remind us of who we are, help us stay grounded, and provide the support we need during difficult times. No romantic relationship can replace that. It's important to maintain a strong bond with the people who have been with you through thick and thin. Don't let a romantic relationship cause you to isolate yourself from those who truly care about you. Make time for your friends and family, and recognize that they are an essential part of your happiness and growth. By prioritizing your relationships with friends and family, you create a balance in your life that will only strengthen your romantic relationships. Healthy, supportive relationships with others allow you to bring your best self to any romantic connection, while also ensuring that you have a strong support system when challenges arise. Never forget that your family and friends are your foundation. They help you grow and become the person you're meant to be. 9. Avoid obsessive devotion. When we're in a relationship, it's natural to care deeply for the other person, but sometimes we can go too far. Obsessive devotion happens when we prioritize someone else's needs, wants, and happiness above our own, to the point where we lose sight of who we are or what we want out of life. It can make us forget our own goals, passions, and sense of self-worth, all in the name of making the other person happy. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When we become overly obsessed with someone, we start to lose our own identity, as our thoughts and actions become consumed by them. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where we start to shape our lives around the other person, losing the balance that is essential to a fulfilling relationship. To avoid obsessive devotion, it's important to keep a healthy sense of independence. Your happiness should never depend solely on another person, no matter how much you care for them. Continue pursuing your own goals, passions, and interests, even when you're in a relationship. Make sure your life remains well-rounded, and never lose sight of who you are or what you want. A healthy relationship is one where both people are free to be themselves, to grow individually, and to come together as equals. By avoiding obsessive devotion, you maintain your sense of self and contribute to a balanced, fulfilling partnership. Remember, you are the main character in your own story. Don't let anyone else take over your narrative. 10. Value mutual respect. One of the most important foundations of any relationship is mutual respect. Without it, everything else falls apart. When respect is lacking, a relationship can become one-sided, filled with misunderstandings, resentment, or even manipulation. It's easy to lose sight of this when you're swept up in emotions, but if you allow disrespect to take root, it can slowly erode the bond you share with someone. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is a reminder that you must first respect yourself before you can expect respect from others. If you don't set boundaries, stand up for yourself, or treat yourself with dignity, you can't expect others to do the same. Mutual respect is built on both parties valuing each other's boundaries, opinions, and feelings equally. To cultivate mutual respect in your relationships, communicate openly and honestly, and always be mindful of each other's needs. Treat your partner as an equal and expect the same in return. Make sure that both of you feel heard, appreciated, and valued. When respect is present, both people are empowered to be their true selves and contribute to a healthy, fulfilling partnership. By valuing mutual respect, you ensure that your relationships are grounded in quality and understanding. This respect creates a safe space for both people to grow, learn, and support each other, strengthening the bond between you and leading to a deeper, more meaningful connection. As we wrap up, remember that building healthy relationships starts with protecting yourself, your time, your peace, and your sense of self. By applying these Stoic principles, you'll create deeper, more fulfilling connections. Stay true to who you are, set clear boundaries, and let your relationships grow from a place of mutual respect. Keep these lessons in mind, and you'll attract the love and support you deserve. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.